Let's talk wide receiver bust candidates for 2020. These aren't absolute locks to bust, but guys I'm staying away from at their current price tag. Top 5 running back.
You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.
Amari Cooper, number 1. I'm not going near Amari Cooper in 2020. Number 1, he could be elsewhere in 2020, and I don't like him unless he's in the exact right environment for him. He isn't like DeAndre Hopkins, where he makes his own space and he can deliver no matter who's under center. This wide receiver can vanish if he doesn't have the right environment. I'm staying clear from him in 2020. And even if he does resign, they tag him, they work out a deal, there's a good chance he's elsewhere, and I'm not going near him. But even in Dallas, let's say they retain him, I like Gallup a lot more than I like Amari Cooper. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys even draft a pretty decent wide receiver in this 2020 draft class if some good values to be had later on in the draft. But if you take a look at Amari Cooper's weeks 11 through 17, he really did vanish for a big part of that stretch. And I don't like the lack of momentum going into 2020 with all of the unknowns about whether he's going to be there or not. So if you're in Dynasty, trade him away now while you still can, while you can still get wide receiver 1 type value, because I think his value is likely only going to decline. There's only going to be more question marks around this guy, even if he stayed. If they figured out a way to bring him back, that you still have Gallup emerging as the potential wide receiver 1 there. You can argue that, but look at the stats. Here are the stats for Michael Gallup in 2019. He has a grip of games with double-digit targets. He has 6 games with over 98 yards. I was talking about no momentum going into 2020 for Cooper. Look at the momentum this guy's got going into 2020. 3 TDs and 98 yards was his last contest. 98 yards on 11 targets the week before that. 109 on 10 targets the week before that week 15 game. 148 yards in week 11. This is their number 2 wide receiver, or so people thought. Gallup has tremendous sleeper value heading into 2020 fantasy football as long as his value stays low. I say stay away from Cooper at pretty much all costs in 2020 and trade him away in Dynasty. And I say go get Gallup in Dynasty and invest heavily in redraft in 2020. Now to the name that everybody's going to get upset about. I know a lot of you are going to go, Smitty, this guy's a number 1 wide receiver in fantasy. Well, you know what? He may have played like that in 2020, especially in spots, but the guy's very dependent on having a QB like Ryan Fitzpatrick under center. A QB that's very, very injury prone. The guy will be 28 in January. I'm not saying that you can't play well until 32, 33 at the NFL level. You can. I think 31 to 32 is the safer age range for wide receivers to assume a drop-off could happen. But DeVante Parker will be entering year number 6 in the NFL. He's no spring chicken. He's not new to the NFL. His previous seasons, 494 receiving, 744 receiving in 2016 and 2017, 670 in 2018, 309. And in 2019, he drops this 1,202 yard, 72 reception, 9 TD season on Fantasy Worlds. After 4 straight years of completely disappointing, all not his fault, I agree. I am not going to argue with anybody that he needed a quarterback. But when you're on the Miami Dolphins and your only link to success is having Ryan Fitzpatrick as your passer, you were looking like a volatile player in my mind heading into 2020 and beyond. I'm trading high. I'm selling high. I'm not going near him in Dynasty. I'm not going near him in redraft given what he's going to probably cost. Let someone else take the chance that this guy is going to be elite after 4 years of being dormant with a quarterback that I think is completely tied to his success. And odds are if they go after a passer, they're going to go after a rookie. He's going to take years to develop. Stay away from DeVante Parker in 2020. If I'm wrong about it, in redraft, you're going after a player that has probably similar value and you're not going to lose out on anything because you're going to probably draft what I consider to be a safer player. And in Dynasty, if you're selling high, and let's say I'm wrong, you're getting something very valuable back because Parker's going to get you a lot right now. You're not going to lose out by staying away from him in redraft, and you're not going to lose out by selling high in Dynasty. You're only going to avoid what I believe could be a potential pitfall once Fitzy Boy is out of the lineup or hurt. I know some of these bust candidate videos can rub people the wrong way. Leave a comment if you want. I don't care if you disagree with me. That's why we play the game.
What's good? Well, what's good is George Kittle over there. Kittle over the middle.
Hold on. It's not. Look, it feels good, baby. That's all I'm gonna say.
It feels good, baby. What's up, man?
Look, man, I didn't get used as much as I wanted in that game.
Y'all really thought he was George Kittle. That's funny. This dude really does look like George Kittle.
I could have done more in the game.
George, they said George is brittle.
Woo!
They said George is brittle.
Oh, maybe I gotta do this. I don't know how else to keep it on.
I'm done
Let's
for
just
tonight.
pretend
This guy's the George Brittle.
Hold on a second, okay? Hold on.
George Chicken Little.
Woo! Look,
I can't take it.
this game.
Oh, he's got
like,
that tape on. Send this man. This guy.
That tape's out. Hold on.
At least your fantasy football advice is not as bad as your wardrobes.
I don't know how to get this thing to stay.
This guy.
Look. I look like Hannibal Lecter. Yeah.
I can't even do it.
Bang, bang. I mean, I heard you had Sherman on last night, but I thought, damn, I'm going to top this off. I'm going to kill over.
You had all day to work on this, and this is what you come with? My, yeah, you definitely are not George Kittle. This is not Kittle over the middle. This is what happened there.